there was once I did a video, this was 4 months ago, I think. I picked this professor, what I assume is a professor because he's wearing shirt and pants and he's carrying bags and he looks like a lecturer at least, right? And he's there at 9 o'clock, like, what are you doing there at 9 o'clock at night? The place that he was waiting for me is different from the pickup spot, right? And so I waited and I called him and he didn't reply, he didn't answer. Eventually, after 5 minutes, he replied saying that he's at another pickup spot. It's only 50 meters away, but because this school is hilly, right, I have to drive around just to get to his pickup spot. And that took me another 3 minutes. So it was already a whole 8 minutes before I picked him up, right? And so I was driving, we haven't even turned out of the school yet. I told him, anyway, yeah, just to check you're paying cash. He said, yes, I'm paying cash. And then I said, just to inform you, there's a waiting time fee. And he said, why is there a waiting time fee? I said, because I waited for you and you weren't there and I had to drive around. So it took total about 8 minutes for me to pick you up. I said, no, I always use other apps. There's no problem with the other apps. Only you today had a problem. You went to the wrong location. I said, no, sir, I show you. This is the exact spot that you put. And the pickup spot that I picked you up at is not at that spot, right? And I had to drive around just to get here. And he said, no, you're trying to cheat my money. He started to get very agitated. Yeah, he used a bit of vulgarities. And we haven't even turned out of the school. It was like 2-3 minutes into the ride. I was like, okay, you know what, sir? It's all right. You don't need to pay anything. Can I suggest that you step out of the vehicle? And then he's like, no, I refuse to leave the vehicle. You're not allowed to charge me the waiting time fee. I said, sir, what do you want me to do? The app automatically charges that fee. If you don't pay, they will charge me anyway, right? So if you want to contest it, I suggest you can just go contest it with the app and then they would know what to do then. Then he's like, no, this is unfair practice. I will complain to LTA, Land Transport Authority. And then he stepped out, he grabbed all his stuff, slammed the door behind him.
Wow.
Right? And then I was like, okay, as Christian, I have to fight the urge to just, okay, don't let it affect your day. Just move on. Less than 30 seconds from driving away from that random spot in that school, I got a ping, because I still had the other apps on.
The same guy lah.
Ping, exact same guy.
Oh, shit.
I went back to that same location and I told him, sir, it's me again. He's like, no, I don't want to take a car. I said, sir, he said, I already got another car. It's like, the other car is me, sir. Look at the license plate. Look at my face. It's me. I'm probably the only one in the whole area. So if you book on another app, you're probably going to get me again. At this point, he just refused to talk to me. He realized that he's supposed to get into the car again, and he refused to do that. So he just stood outside. So I waited until the waiting time is over and then you can cancel the ride. Which means on the other app, he has to pay the waiting fee as well. So instead of paying the first waiting fee, he has to pay the waiting fee on the second app. How I ended the video was, I started driving off and I got picked on another app. Guess who it was? Right? That was part one. And then just last week, I'm in the area of Singapore a lot. So I dropped my sister-in-law off and I got a ping and it was same pickup spot. Same name. I was like, really, man?
Oh, you cannot see the passenger details.
I saw the name. I saw the name. But okay, so he booked me on the first 3 apps already, right? And I say I have all 4 open, right? So this was the 4th one.
You don't reject a passenger, right?
I can. I didn't want to. Why would I reject? It's free. It's free
good content.
So how I started the second video was this. So at the start of the journey, when this guy got into the car, I thanked him first. I thanked him for putting the correct pickup spot. Because there was this particular incident of this professor that I picked up from this school that I recounted the whole story that I told you earlier. And then you know what that guy's response was? Sometimes, right, it's not the driver's fault. I said, oh, really? Why do you say that? And he's like, sometimes these apps, you put the pickup point here and then they put the spot at a different place. Sometimes it's not the driver's fault. So the driver wait at the pickup spot, but actually you put the pickup spot at a different area. So I said, I see. As a driver, wouldn't you feel it's very unjust or very unfair if the passenger took their anger out on you? He's like, oh yeah, definitely it's not right. Oh, I forgot to mention this. As I was telling him the story, he was like, oh. And as I was saying the details of the story, his O's got softer and softer. Oh. And then the last one was like, oh, like a realization, like, oh, you're talking about me. But he didn't say that, right? And then he continued the rest of the journey. Like that part 1 never happened, you know. And he's like, oh. Then I included in the video, this time he cannot slam my doors because I changed my car. Automatic
sliding
doors.
door.
And this is the part, the craft that I was talking about storytelling. I'm not just, if I just told you the story, like, it'll be like,
Show don't tell. You know?
yeah, it'll be quite interesting, but that is how you relate the story. So I said, stay till the end because there's a satisfying ending. After we've connected 4 times on 4 different apps, this
Soulmates,
gentleman and I finally completed the journey together once.